We are back for another reaction. Today we have What Happened to Beats by DRE. Let's go.
It seems like just yesterday, every music video, movie, and celebrity was promoting Beats by DRE. I mean, to be honest, when I was a kid, there was nothing I wanted more than a new pair of Beats headphones. But nowadays, it's pretty hard to find someone wearing Beats, and it seems like the brand has almost vanished into thin air, which has left me with a few questions like, why was everyone and their mom wearing Beats? How come every single popular artist was wearing them? And whatever happened to the iconic brand Beats by DRE? Well, it turns out that Beats might not be the great headphones you remember them to be, and to understand why, we gotta go back to the beginning. Beats by DRE obviously were created by Dr. Dre, who is an extremely successful rapper and producer. He's well known for working with artists like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, and more. As a producer, it gave him obviously a lot of credibility when it comes to audio quality, so it made perfect sense why people would be interested in buying his headphones. So he decided to partner up with the record executive Jimmy Iovine, who described Dr. Dre as a sound connoisseur, someone who had spent an entire career in the studio working with music and beats.
I said, Dre, we need to do something. Because he was going on about that 50 Cent was selling millions of sneakers. So I said, Dre, man, this is not us. Nobody cares what sneakers you wear. Screw sneakers. Let's do speakers. Let's get into sound, right? It's really how this company was built.
They said that there were two main problems with the audio and overall music industry, and they said it was because of poor audio because of pirated music, as well as
I'm not gonna lie, they nailed down the quality aspect of it. Like, even till this day, although technology has advanced kind of everywhere when it comes to the headphone world, Beats are up there, man. Mine just died, that's why I'm using these, but that's low-key my go-to still.
Earbuds having really poor quality. This is back when everyone was using the iPod and the headphones that just came with it. Remember when we used to get earbuds for free? The good old days? But he was saying that the younger generation also just had no clue about audio quality and what they were actually missing out on.
From 15 to 30, 25% knew the difference between a $100 speaker and a $1,000 speaker. They are just not even tuned into sound. And most of it is for two reasons. One of them is the laptop, and the other is the earbud. That Apple earbud that 8 million people get every quarter, that we all watch and salivate over, that he's making all that money, but the earbud that they stay with takes the emotion out of music.
And to be honest, there weren't too many headphone brands that were like killing the game back at this time.
Before the Sony Walkman debuted in 1979, headphones were mainly a utility used by the military and professional sound engineers. And that's pretty much where consumer headphone technology stayed until October 20th.
Holy shit, bro. That just brought me back to like school. Like, I remember in school, man, every time we had to take a test, they'll give us this shitty, you guys know what I'm talking about, bro. They'll pass them out in a little tray, in a little basket. And then you will be in the back of the class. You will always get the messed up one. It will be always missing the little foam part. She just had plastic rubbing in your ear the whole test for like 3 hours. Bro, PTSD from that, bro.
2001.
And we are introducing a product today called iPod. You can take your whole music library with you right in your pocket.
Now, to be fair, there were other MP3 players on the market at the time, but the $399 classic iPod and those white earbuds became a sort of status symbol.
So Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine's master plan was to create a high-quality pair of headphones that would allow listeners, especially the younger generation, to experience the music the way it was intended to be listened to. Or at least that's what their marketing campaign was. Originally, Beats partnered with an audio and video component company called Monster Cable, and with them they created the first ever pair of Beats headphones, the studio headphones, back in 2008. The headphones were focused on a bass-heavy sound and advertised as a studio-quality pair of headphones. Eventually they came out with newer and better headphones, as well as the Beats Pill, which was a wireless speaker. I'm not sure if these speakers were ever nearly as popular as other speaker companies like JBL, but they were still pretty cool. And they also had these goofy little pill characters voiced by celebrities doing their ads.
They're small.
Small? I'm 7.5 inches of heaven, mother.
They're loud.
Yeah, we're speakers. We supposed to be loud, dummy.
And they love talking trash.
A plug-in speaker? It's done. Yo, can I borrow your pager and your acid wash jeans?
Can I borrow your 8-ball jacket?
One of their biggest marketing moments was sending Beats to Olympic athletes. In 2008, they hooked LeBron up with a pair, who then asked for pairs for the entire...
Bro, ain't that crazy? That just shows, like, the longevity of this man, bro. When they first launched, that's crazy, bro. And look, he's still going strong at, like, 40. That's crazy.
Olympic basketball team. Then in 2012, in a bit more of a controversial moment, Beats sent headphones to British athletes and many more like Michael Phelps. Technically, you aren't really supposed to do this, and some people were upset because, you know, they're trying to protect their sponsors, but Beats never really got into any official trouble. Regardless, Beats by Dre were selling like hotcakes. The market for headphones at this time spiked from 59 million units sold and $490 million in revenue at the end of 2008, which is the year that Beats by Dre launched, to 68.7 million units sold and a revenue of $648 million the following year. Beats by Dre really amplified the premium headphone market and kind of created a market that wasn't fully there. By 2013, Beats was valued at $1 billion. And if you weren't around back then, let me tell you, everybody was wearing Beats.
I've been to like 3 different continents in the last, I don't know, like 2 or 3 months, and like all I see is Beats by Dre on ears, on planes in Vietnam and Jamaica and London, you know?
It's crazy.
Really,
we hit a lick, man. I'm shocked myself, man, as to how well they're doing.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep new and exciting product coming, man, you know, so we're trying to eventually be second to Apple, you know, and I don't think that's a bad position. We're really trying.
Shit, I think they ended up joining, like, together. Oh, shit. Damn.
Take over everything with a speaker.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And also microphones. We're going to get involved in that also.
And probably the main driver behind that was their genius marketing. Back in the 2010s, every single big artist was promoting Beats headphones. One thing that they did was they had big artists put Beats in their music videos. Soulja Boy, Solange, Lady Gaga, Snoop Dogg, LMFAO, Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, and many more all had Beats products in their music videos. Beats also collabed with a lot of other artists, athletes, and other celebrities in their advertisement. They even did this ad with Kendrick Lamar where they made a whole song for it that was never released, and it was just made for the commercial, and fans loved it. There's also this commercial that people love with Colin Kaepernick called Hear What You Want, where everyone was just trashing him for being a terrible quarterback, and then he puts the headphones on and just blocks it all out and locks in.
This was back when ads used to be like this shit. Now they're like.
And in the comments of all of these ads, people are ranting and raving about how much they used to love these commercials. They had every single celebrity and their moms doing these ads, which was extremely impactful, especially for the younger generation who looked up to these people, which was the main reason why it seemed like everyone wanted a pair of these headphones.
Hello? What up, Dre? Hold up, I gotta finish something. Talk to me.
On top of all of that, the headphones just looked crisp, clean, and had a large array of colors that you could wear. Time magazine even said the company's greatest innovation may have been its success at making headphones as much fashion accessories as they are listening devices. And by 2014, Beats controlled 70% of the market for premium headphones. And while Beats was on top of the world and everybody's head, it didn't last forever. 2014 is when it seemed like things started to go a bit downhill for Beats. First, they did something a little bit dumb in my opinion, and that's when they started their own streaming service called Beats Music. This is when a lot of streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music were about to pick up steam, and the era of streaming was about to be ushered in. So I guess it was sort of smart to try to get into it early. Apparently, they even hired people in the music industry, radio personalities, and songwriters to curate the music. They also acquired a bunch of smaller companies to build their own up. But eventually, none of that would matter because just months later, Apple acquired Beats for $3 billion. There had been rumors about the deal for a little, and then right before the deal went live, a video was posted to Facebook by Tyrese Gibson of Dr. Dre ecstatic that he had just become the quote-unquote first billionaire in hip-hop.
Another level. Billionaire Boys Club for real, homie. Huh? Fix your face. Fix your face. Know that. Oh, shit. The Forbes list just changed. They need, hey, it came out like 2 weeks ago. They need to update the Forbes list. Shit just changed. In a big way. Oh, my. Understand that. Oh my. The first billionaire in hip hop, right here from the motherfucking West Coast. Believe it.
Not to ruin Dre's fun though, but I don't think his net worth actually ever technically hit $1 billion, although, you know, he still got enough money. After Apple acquired Beats, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine became workers at Apple. Apple laid off about 200 Beats employees, and immediately, just months after its creation, Beats Music was shut down because of the launch of Apple Music. So just like Agario, Apple ate up Beats by Dre. As years went on following the acquisition, it seemed like Beats by Dre faded away into obscurity. That paired with a couple of lawsuits, and it seemed like everything was just over for the brand. I will say though, one thing it seemed like Apple tried to adopt from Beats for a little bit was their advertising strategy. Many people like to blame Apple for the reason that Beats by Dre failed, but regardless of the Apple acquisition, I actually think one of the main reasons that Beats failed was simply because the headphones really weren't that great. I used to have a pair, and I'm not an audiophile or anything, but I remember them not being that comfortable. They felt very breakable, they didn't feel too high quality, and I just couldn't wear them for a while. They just weren't that great. I also found some audiophiles on Reddit, and if you don't know what an audiophile is, it's just a bunch of huge sound nerds. No offense to the audiophiles out there, but they know their stuff, which is why most of them aren't fans of these headphones. When asked what happened to Beats on Reddit, one person said, "People realized the headphones suck." Another said, "They got huge because they had a marketing campaign."
Not gonna lie though, their new models, like I was never big on the old ones. I saw a lot of people wear them, but the new models are nice. And I think I got the Pros. I don't know which ones I have, but man, they're comfortable. And I mostly have them for like working out and hitting the gym, and they work just fine, bro.
Based on loudness era shitty mastering practices in the recording industry. Instead of calling it out, they decided that they can fool people into thinking that headphones are at fault. Another person said, "The downfall in my opinion is when folks started to dissect Beats and found out it's no different or better than some Skull Candies or other similar products. They weren't that much better once you got your hands on some, and then you compared them to the lower priced options and you realize it's just a status symbol." Which was true. Beats were 100% a status symbol at the time, like the article I mentioned earlier that said they were just a fashion accessory to many people. The quality on these headphones compared to the other types of headphones on the market nowadays is just night and day. I may not have noticed it back then when I was like 12 years old, but the audio quality is quite different. So like I said, Beats continue to fade into obscurity. So quite simply, the main reason Beats didn't work is because their marketing campaign couldn't last forever and they didn't evolve as much as their competitors, which is largely thanks to Apple. Nowadays, we live in a time where everyone can look up reviews on headphones and find out that there are much better options for less money. On top of that, the other companies like Bose, Sony, and more started taking over the headphone game. And by the time that the AirPods came out in late 2016, Apple began their domination of the audio game. I don't know about you guys, but it feels to me that everyone switched to wireless earbuds thanks to Apple. Pretty much everyone I know had or has AirPods, and honestly, the word AirPods almost became synonymous with wireless earbuds. Except for that brief phase where everyone was wearing those like around the neck headphones that were wireless and they, you know.
Bro, if you had one of these, bro, you would go in public with it, bro. I could never. I had these exact same ones, bro. The gray and with black. Bro, I wouldn't even come out my room with that shit on, bro.
I'm saying, like, those were kind of weird. I never really liked those. I mean, think about it. Why would you spend like $300 on some bulky headphones when for like half the price you can get some convenient wireless earbuds that you can wear anywhere? And that's why by 2021 Apple had the majority of market share when it came to headphones. And if you fast forward to today, now it seems like everyone's buying Apple's headphones, the AirPod Maxes. And I'm not gonna lie, I fell for the propaganda too. I know they aren't that great quality wise and they're not like the best headphones on the market and they're a bit overpriced, but I just think these are sleek. I can't lie. Regardless, no one was really wearing over-ear headphones at this time, and if you were, there's a great chance that it wasn't Beats. Apple was all in on AirPods, and Beats were more so an afterthought at this time as, again, they were a subsidiary of Apple. Around this time, Beats did put out some wireless over-ear headphones, but there were just better brands at the time, and that's really why Beats fell off. But it seems as if Beats is trying to make a comeback. Right now, it seems like, despite going under the radar for a while, Beats is trying to make a comeback, and with Apple backing the company, I wouldn't be too surprised if it worked out. Lately, they've been going back to their roots, collaborating with pop culture people like Skepta, LeBron James, and Lil Wayne. They even partnered with Minecraft to make some sick-ass creeper headphones. On top of that, they have actually seen a decent amount of growth these last couple of years, and I think that's mostly due to sales from the Power Beats, which are unique in their own right. It seems though that they've changed up their target audience a bit from the younger generation, just like everybody in general, and more so to athletes, fitness people, and fans of hip-hop. I mean, if you go to their page, they got Shohei Ohtani wearing the headphones on the very front, so clearly they're going for more of an athletic crowd these days. When the current CEO was asked if he thought they were rebels against the Apple ecosystem, he made it seem like they were fine with targeting that audience, while Apple was left to dominate the rest of the mainstream headphone industry. He did admit that Beats by Dre fell off for a bit, but that they are going to revamp all of their products. Beats headphones have definitely improved to try to keep up with the current headphone technology, but they're definitely not the top dogs anymore. This was a recent interview from last year, so who knows, maybe Beats will make some killer headphones soon and get some more market share in the headphones industry. Regardless, Beats were still an iconic moment in pop culture that helped shift the audio market as we know it. Also, fun fact, will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas said he invested a lot in Beats early and made millions from being a shareholder. If you like this video, you might like my video about what happened to Vivo, a company that suffered.
Yo, great video, dog. I personally think that, yeah, they fell off. Like after 2016, after the AirPods came out, I feel like every headphone company kind of tanked. But then now, I feel like with so many people going to like the gym and starting to be a little more active, and it's just becoming like a big social media thing, a lot of people are buying Beats. Like, once again, including me. That I'm those people. If you fuck with a video, go ahead, give me that like button and click. Somewhere around here, there'll be a video for you to watch next. Appreciate y'all. Till next time.